Hey everyone, we're Team 123. We're working on a project to create an application for helping people using electric vehicles. So by doing an interview, a couple of interviews, then we're trying to find out what they need, what they really need, if they have a electric vehicle, and if they don't have one, then uh, if they had one, what would they need? So we're gonna address a couple of interviews. First, we're going to be asking about the background of the people that we're going to interview, and we're going to keep the questions simple. We're going to make clear what the interview is about, how we're going to use that information, and what we're trying to find out with those questions that we're going to be asking. It's important that for this interview we keep the questions short, clear, and in a general way, so we don't narrow the answers. We're just trying to find out what they need. So that's what we're going to be doing today, and that's pretty much it. So let's just do it. While I'm doing the questions, I'm going to have my friend here with me. Hi, so I'm who's going to be be taking note of my interview's reaction, how he reacts to the questions, how he's answering the questions. So I'm just going to be in charge of asking those questions while my friend is going to be taking note and paying attention to all those little details. Uh, so let's just go to the action and make the interview. Hello, I'm Juan. So in this interview, I'm going to be asking questions about the use of electric vehicles. With this interview, we're trying to find out what people need when they drive an electric car. So I'm just going to be asking questions about that topic. But before we get started, I'd like to know more about yourself. What do you do? What's your background? Where you from? So can you just comment on that?
My name is Hamza Wali, and I'm working currently at TUT in the Department of Mechanical Engineering as a research assistant.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm 26 years old, and that's pretty much it.
Okay.
Or if you have more,
Yeah. How old are you? How old are you?
yeah, 26 years old.
26.
Yeah,
Okay. How familiar are you with the use of applications, not just social media, but some other applications? What do you use? What kind of applications do you have on your phone?
yeah, I'm basically an Android user,
Yeah.
so I have like Android applications mostly that I've been using, but I've also used from the Apple iOS.
Okay.
So yeah, I have idea about
Okay.
iOS as well. So
Okay. And what about your hobbies? What are your hobbies? What do you do in your spare time?
yeah, so usually like swimming and some sports, going to the gym.
Yeah.
Not quite often, but yeah.
Okay.
So playing like video games on the PC,
Yeah. Okay.
and yeah, that's pretty much.
Okay. That's good. That's good. Um, let's talk about vehicles. So, what kind of vehicle you drive? First of all, you drive what kind of transportation mode you use when you go to work or when you go to school? You use buses or you use a bike?
Here in Tampere, I'm mostly using the public transport, the bus,
Yeah.
and sometimes we are driving the regular cars, or
Mhm.
but they are not electric; they are
Yeah.
on petrol.
Yeah.
So we're using these cars.
Okay. Okay. Um, so you said that mostly you use buses,
Yes.
public transportation. Is there a special reason for that, or is it
It's just
more
more
economical,
yeah,
or
it's economical, it's more convenient,
yeah?
and buses are usually on time, and all my workspaces,
Hmm.
like my workspace or my the study place, they are all connected via bus network, so I don't really need to take a taxi or
Yeah.
some other kind of transport to reach there. It's much convenient this way.
Okay. Uh, Now you're living here in Tampa, but I assume that you have lived in your home country for
Yes,
much longer,
yes.
right? So what about there? Did you drive petrol gas? Did you take public transportation, or you?
Usually in Pakistan we drive. We don't actually for myself. I didn't use public
Mhm.
transport that much. I was owning a car. It
Yeah.
was a 1600 cc petrol engine. It had a 1600 cc petrol engine and it was Honda. So, and I've also driven a hybrid vehicle that's from Prius from Toyota,
Yeah,
but didn't actually get to uh, drive a Tesla or something like that.
I see. I see. Um, if you had the chance to choose between an electric vehicle and a petrol, which one would you rather choose?
If it involves like commuting inside the city,
Yeah,
then I would prefer using a Tesla.
yeah.
Oh, sorry, not a Tesla, like an electric vehicle, like Tesla or something like that. But if I'm going for off-roading or if there is somewhere outside for a long drive, then yeah, petrol because
Mhm.
you need to. I don't know if there are like electric points for recharging
Yeah.
available
Okay.
that easily, but for
Yeah.
petrol, you have petrol stations. So
Yeah. So you're indeed concerned about the charging station, so you don't know
yeah,
much about it. Why you concerned about that? Just because you don't have much information about the electric stations, or because you know that there are not many?
both of them.
What's
Like,
okay?
I'm not sure because I haven't researched into
Mhm.
that, or I don't. My awareness about the charging stations is quite limited,
Yeah.
and it's much easier,
Yeah.
to drive a regular car on petrol or diesel because anyways you're going to find
Okay.
a filling station on
Okay.
the road.
You mentioned that back in your home country you used to drive a petrol car. So when you were going from one point to another, what was your main concern about the fuel that you had? Did you pay more attention to the proximity of the gas station or to the price of the gas in in a certain gas station?
Um, if you take the case of Pakistan, the gas or gasoline is almost the same price
Okay.
in throughout the country. So, like proximity of having of the gas station was one of the concerns once I'm
Okay.
driving.
Okay. All right. Sir, say you're driving a car and you need to refill gas, and you see that you're close to one gas station.
Mhm.
So the question is, would you rather go to another electric station if you see that the price is lower in that other gas station, or you just go to the closest one?
If I have time, for sure, I would just go to the, and if it's nearby,
Yeah.
so I would go to the other one with where the rates are low for the
Okay. Yeah.
gasoline.
So it's a matter of time.
Yeah,
So if
because
yeah.
we have actually done it before as well because where I live, on Orevedin Katu, there are two petrol stations
Okay.
side by almost like quite near to each
Yeah.
other, but the rates are different, so we check which one
Okay.
is the cheapest one, so we go there.
Yeah. Okay. I can
That's the
see.
normal approach.
So that leads to this other question is do you usually plan your trips ahead if you know that you're going to somewhere in the city, do you plan your trip ahead? You check the status of the fuel in your car, or you just get in your car and check how much you have left and
Usually we have an idea about how much fuel we are going to
okay,
have in the car, but yeah, once we start the
okay,
car, at that time we do check the status of the fuel, and based on that we make some decisions to read it or not.
previously you mentioned that for driving inside the city it will be good to have an electric car
Mhm.
because you don't have to drive for large distances and it will be well. better for you. Uh, why? Is it because of the price? Is it because
Mm,
of
yeah, because we want to keep the CO2 levels in the city
yeah?
as low as possible. So
Okay.
that's why I was referring to this approach. If we have an option of an electric car, and also like electric cars are producing um, very less noise,
Yeah.
so they keep the noise level also down, emissions also low.
Okay.
So that's why I would prefer an electric car over um, petrol car within the city.
Okay. Are you so? I can see you're somewhat concerned about the environment,
Yes.
aren't you?
Yep.
Okay. So you're recycling all those things.
Yep.
Okay. That's good to know. Um, say that you have an electric car, um, and you have a mobile application or a product that allows you to know the status of your charge.
Okay.
Would you rely on that 100%? Would you be like safe? Would you feel safe about the information being provided by an application, or would you have to the feeling that you have to go and check yourself your car?
If it's an app,
Yeah.
I would rely on it
Okay.
because usually I don't see a point why not to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because most of the electric cars, they are like as you've seen Tesla,
Yeah.
it's like built around these devices. Like everything is based on software, and so we have to trust it. Even everything is connected to the internet, so that's the whole point
Yeah.
with the electric cars. Yeah, being interested.
Okay. Um, electric cars are increasing dramatically in the latest years. In Oslo, they're using electric cars a lot. However, you still see some cities and some countries where the use of electric cars are not that high. Why do you think that's happening? If using an electric car is good for the environment, is cheaper, what do you think is going on?
I think it's because of lack of infrastructure in those places. Like there are not enough charging
Hmm.
points available, and at the same time, the prices of the electric cars are quite high as
Hmm.
compared to the normal
Yeah.
petrol or diesel
Yeah.
vehicles. There are a lot of factors, and people like there could also be like if I bought a car and then there are no maintenance services available. So like I previously we owned um, the Prius.
Mhm.
I told you it's not an it's the hybrid vehicle,
Yeah.
but there was a problem with the batteries because
Okay.
the batteries had a certain life, and afterwards the replacement of the
Hmm.
batteries and those kind of issues.
I can see.
So there are a lot of factors like technical services for that product, for the electric cars, maintenance, charging points,
Hmm.
basically the infrastructure.
Okay. Okay.
Awareness is there. Everyone wants to
Yeah.
try the electric car, but right now they lack infrastructure.
Yeah. Yeah. And I guess that's the main difference between the
Yeah,
infrastructure for petrol gas that are running on
yeah,
petrol, because it's been running for quite a long time, and so you have a good access to all the infrastructure. Okay, I can see. Yeah. Okay, I would like to thank you for your time. You gave us some good answers. We're probably gonna use that information in a good way. It's gonna be useful for us. So thanks a lot for your time, and hopefully I'll see you around.
pleasure.
Okay, so we have addressed a round of interviews so far. We were trying to find out the people's needs, what they need if they were driving an electric vehicle, because right now there are not many electric vehicles, but there will be lots of electric vehicles by 2025 probably. So I've been asking questions, and my friend here has been taking notes of people's reactions, the way they answer the questions, so we could get some good hints about that, some reliable information, some important information to discover the needs. So you have any comments on that?
Yeah, so far, like after taking many interviews, we have found that people really tended to use electric vehicles, but as they are costly and because of their lack of infrastructure, they are not using it. But like in 2025, I believe they will use it. And from the interview, I can say that um, maybe they are interested to use it at first in the city because of the in city
Mhm.
it will not produce so much carbon dioxide.
Yeah.
And another thing is that they are a little bit concerned about the electricity
Yeah.
price,
Yeah. Yeah.
and they really want to know where the nearby charging station
Yeah.
is, and in which charging station the price is high or
Yeah.
low.
Yeah. We really
So
noticed some like common points in all the interview is like, well, they mention different things, but there are some common things as the availability of the charging stations, right?
yeah,
So they're mainly concerned about if they have near stations or in the stations, electric stations nearby, and
and
they're
even they are not sure that if they
Mhm.
have like 25% charge, with this charge, how many kilometers they can
Yeah.
drive.
So yeah, so
So
they
so
want to
the
make sure they can get from point A to point B.
yeah,
So
obviously.
they're concerned about that. They're not sure about if the infrastructure
No.
is good enough. So that's one of the reasons why they're not driving electric vehicles and they would
Mm,
rather go with a petrol car, right? So they're concerned about the availability of the charging stations as well as the price. Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Like just getting from point A to point B safely with enough charge, with enough electric stations on the way and all that. They're mainly concerned about that. Some of them I'm also concerned about the environment.
yeah.
Some of them are also concerned about the how comfortable they are using electric vehicles and all that. So those are different points from people, but those are the common points: availability, price, and feeling safe when driving an electric vehicle and not running out of charge when going from point A to point B. Um, some some of the comments on the interview.
Uh, After taking so many interviews so far, I can say that if like we are using any kind of product that may show that it has that amount of charge, and from that charge you can go that kind of distance and you can get back. So I, after taking interview, so far I have noticed that yes, they are feeling safe to use this kind of product,
Yeah, yeah. It's also
and they really want to know about the price.
yeah,
And if they found that in 2 kilometers there is a nearby charging station, the price is very high, and if like in 2.5 or 3 kilometers there is another charging station, but the price is really low,
yeah,
so they will prefer to go that station.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's a good point. Uh, so now we have some good hints to start with creating an application. We have found out some needs. So it's all matter of time for creating the prototype and coming up with a good application for people.
yeah. And after taking interviews and based on feedback, we will try to develop some really a fruitful product which
Mm.
can help a EV user.
Yeah, yeah.